Guys, I found a really good deal on an E46 M3 rear end, so in today's video, I'm gonna be driving to New York to go pick that up. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name's Sam. Consider subscribing for more awesome BMW content. So it's gonna be quite a journey to New York, and my car is completely empty on gas right now, so the first thing I need to do is go and fill it up. Only put like 12.9 gallons in, which is kind of weird because I thought it was completely empty, so I thought it was gonna put like 16, but I guess it is what it is. Yeah guys, I was right. It didn't even fill up my tank all the way, so I don't know what was wrong with that gas pump that it just stopped, but we have enough gas definitely to get there, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. I just made it to New York. I spent about an hour and a half in the car. It is like snowing like crazy now. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I just stopped by an ATM, picked up the $500 in cash, which is what I'm paying for this M3 rear end. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up now. Probably won't film much when I get it because I just don't want to be like weird about it, but I'll definitely show you guys the rear end once I get it in the car. All right guys, it's been quite a while since the last clip. It's actually been like 2 hours. I drove all the way home, but I got the rear end. It went super smoothly. I thought I was gonna have to use a hoist to get it in the car, but we didn't even need that. It got in here perfectly. It took 3 of us to fit it in the car, and it just barely gets in there without touching the rear seat. But it is awesome, guys. I'm so excited for this. So it's the full rear end with the differential in the middle, the whole diff brace, I guess it's called, the trailing arms, the entire brake assembly with the calipers and rotors and the dust shields. It has the sway bar down here, really everything needed to do this swap. So there's not a ton of information online about doing this swap, but from what I've seen, it's a pretty direct bolt-on. Like, I'm not gonna need a drive shaft. Since I have a 6-speed, I should be able to use my drive shaft. Pretty much all of the bolts are gonna be exchangeable, but there's not too much information, so I'm sure some stuff will come up. I don't know if I wanna take this out of the car right now because there's not really room in the garage. So I just realized I didn't really even talk about where I found this and how I got such a great deal on it, because I only paid $500 for this entire rear end, and the second cheapest one I found was actually on eBay, and it was $1,000. So let me know if you guys have found a full M3 rear end for cheaper than that, but from what I've seen, $500 is a pretty good deal. Now I am gonna buy like a full bushing kit just because it's already out of the car, so I might as well, and that's pretty expensive too, considering that it's for an M3. So that's gonna be an additional maybe $200 or $300. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, my drive shaft will work, because if it doesn't, an E46 M3 drive shaft is like $150 to $200 on eBay. So that would really suck if I had to pay for that. But all things considered, I'm looking at a full swap for about like $800 maybe, hopefully. And that doesn't even account for what I'm gonna be able to get for mine, because when I drop my full rear end and sell that, I'll probably be able to get at least $150, maybe $200 for it. So that would bring the cost down to like $600 for a full swap. And that's even better than getting a custom LSD, which is the only other option. First off, because that's way more expensive. That's like $1,000 to $1,500 to do that. But on top of that, I'm gonna have M3 brakes now, so the car is gonna stop even better. I think most of the suspension, most of the like control arms and stuff are the same as the 330, so I don't know if it's gonna like handle better, but it is definitely assuring knowing that it is a OEM BMW part and it's not some custom fabricated thing, and it's not like a welded diff. I was thinking about welding the diff on the car because it's so much cheaper. I've talked to some people who've done it in the past, but it seems a little sketchy to me. Like, people will say like, yeah, driving a welded diff, it's fine, just don't drive it in the rain, you know, just don't drive it on the highway over 70 miles an hour and you'll be straight. But like, I want this car to be a daily driver. I want it to be you know, a good mix of like driftability. I still want to be able to take it on a track and all this stuff, and those are all big no-nos with a welded diff. I mean, a welded diff is okay for drifting, but it sucks for pretty much everything else. And while this is still my only car, I want it to still be somewhat usable. So I think this M3 rear end is really the best option to go with. And all things considered, I mean, I know if you're like a Honda guy, you might be saying, oh, $500 for a rear end, that's so much money. But you know, in the BMW world, all things considered, this is a steal. I'm sorry it's so dark out. Maybe I'll take out my phone flashlight so you guys can see this a little bit better. So here is the brakes. You see that little M logo? Oh no, you can't see it. Hold on, let me... In there? Yeah, there we go. So these are pretty rusted out right now, but they appear to be in somewhat good condition. I mean, there's no like terrible scoring on the rotor. And the pad actually has a lot of life left. Can you guys see that? I'm sorry, this camera work is just terrible. Trying to get a good shot of the pad. Can you guys see the pad right there? Like right there? So it still has a lot of life to it, surprisingly. So I probably will not buy pads right away. I'm gonna do the bushings and then just get it in the car. And then there's probably gonna be some adjustments I'm gonna have to make. I'm very excited with this, guys. There's the differential right there in the back. This is the end of it where it connects to the drive shaft. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. So I have a bunch of other videos planned for the M3 rear end. I'm not just gonna install it and leave it at that. I wanna do one video where I'm gonna do like a comparison of like drifting before and after with the open diff and a limited slip diff. Then I'm obviously gonna do an install video. I'm gonna go through the full process installing because there's a few forums on like Bimmer World and stuff of people who have done this, but a lot of them are like really old, like 2008, 2009, and I don't think anybody's done like a full in-depth YouTube video on this. I know Shop Life TV, who's pretty popular in the E46 world, he's done videos of like removing an E46 rear end, and he might have even done one of installing an M3 rear end, but nobody's done like a full project video of swapping an M3 rear end onto the 330 Ci. So that will be a great video to make. And then on top of that, I'll probably do a review just going over all the different aspects of the rear end. And if I like it or not, if it's worth the money, because it's not just about drifting, there are a bunch of other benefits. Because if you guys know, I don't want to get all like techie here, but if you guys know how a limited slip works, basically the car's just better at transferring the power to whichever wheel has grip. So it's better in the snow, it's better for launch control, it's better for so many different things. It's better for track use, drift use, pretty much everything. It really boggles my mind why BMW didn't offer a limited slip differential on the 330 Ci to begin with, considering that it is the highest trim model that you can get short of the M3. But I guess it's just one of those things where they just want to convince you to buy the M3. But if you look at like other comparable cars like Nissan 350Zs, G35s, even some Audis, there's a lot of cars in the similar price range that have a limited slip differential. So I know I'm kind of rambling right now, I'm kind of going on a tangent. But I'm very excited for this limited slip differential. There's gonna be a lot of great videos to come. My eBay headers are on the way too. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you go ahead and do that right now because there's gonna be a lot of awesome videos coming and you do not want to miss any of them. With that being said, guys, as always, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.